Hey everyone, I'm Rizeki, and welcome to yet another Talking Head video. Again, this is unscripted, so it's kind of just going off the top of my head. I wanted to quickly go over a bunch of the exotic class item combinations that I think you should be on the lookout for once you get your hands on the new exotic mission, Dual Destiny. If you don't know how to get it, there's plenty of YouTube tutorials. Basically, you just do 3 overthrows, kill specific Secret Keeper ads, and then follow the green marker, and you'll be on your way. I'm not going to focus on how to actually do the mission today, but just specifically which class item combinations you should be looking out for, mostly in PvE, but I'll mention if one is particularly interesting in PvP. So I don't want to take up too much time with the intro, so let's just hop right into it. First of all, you get the class items by doing the Dual Destiny mission, and then once you unlock it, you could just get random drops of the class exotic from any Pale Heart chest at all. It's a low drop chance. I think it's like, based on what everyone's saying, it's like a 1 in 20. So open up about 20 chests and you'll probably get at least one. And it'll take you maybe 15 to 20 minutes to do that. Anyway, let's just start off with hunters. Also, funnily enough, they renamed the hunter class exotic item. I can't remember exactly what it's called. Let me see if I can find it quickly. I think I have a screenshot somewhere. Relativism. Yeah, I don't know why they renamed it, but it's not essentialism anymore, it's relativism. Go figure. The one thing that I find interesting about the hunter perks that you could get, the exotic perks, are most of them are actually from exotics that are pretty good. Even if they're not the most exciting, I think a lot of these have really cool effects, and when combined can obviously make a big impact. For all of the exotic items here, I have a list on the side of things I think is interesting, and we're gonna go from the top of the left column down and talk about the combinations across. Also, for if you're unaware, the class item isn't any combination of any of these. You have a left column and a right column. So everything in the left column here cannot be combined together. So you can't have assassin and inmost light. You can only have assassin with something in column 2. So instead of there being like a million different options, there's about 64 different options you could get in total for each class item. But anyway, I'm gonna stop blabbing about that stuff and let's just get to what I made this video to talk about. Starting at the top, I think the most obvious interaction here with Spirit of the Assassin is actually going to be Spirit of Gerfalcon. Finishers and powered melees grant invisibility. Gerfalcon, when you emerge from invisibility, you get volatile. So it's an obvious combination. I don't know if it's the best combination on Hunter because we do have access to Stylish Executioner. So Spirit of the Assassin kind of isn't good on Hunter, surprisingly, because you already get it built in. But if you didn't want to use Stylish, you wanted to use some other aspect in its place, then you could use Assassin and Gerfalcon to get the same effect. Next up, I'm gonna actually skip over Inmost Light. It's not bad, but I think you'll find that a lot of the Hunter grenades, in particular, aren't that powerful on Prismatic. Most builds right now have you using Combination Blow and the Grapple Grenade. Both of which benefit more from melees, and you're going to be pretty much having infinite uptime on your combination blow anyway. So Spirit of Inmost Light isn't super useful on hunters. It's not bad, but it's not the absolute best. I think had it been in a different column from Spirit of Renewal, it actually would have been pretty good, because you'd be able to get Renewal Grasp, Dusk Fields a lot faster. But they're in different they're in the same column, so that's not possible. Next up, we have Ophidians. Ophidians, I think, are going to be good in PvP. Obviously, weapon ready speed is really good in PvP, but also it's going to be pretty good for damage rotations for boss DPS phases. And if you're using it for boss DPS, the obvious choice in the right-hand column is Star Eaters. So not only are you going to be able to rotate your weapons really fast to do good damage rotations, but you're also going to have a really powerful super in addition to it. So it's just kind of a nice combination of two exotics that you normally would see hunters running individually. Obviously, Star Eaters on Arc with Gathering Storm is fantastic. And we've seen, people using Dragon Shadow and damage rotations, but now you could use Ophidian and Star Eaters, which is great. Speaking of Dragon and Dragon Shadow, you could use this with Star Eaters. That's a combination to look out for, again, for DPS loadouts. Or you could actually go Spirit of the Dragon and Spirit of the Coyote for an additional class ability charge. So you get 2 full reloads and increased weapon handling speeds, not just 1, which could be really good for short DPS phases where you're not so reliant on your super. Especially because Hunter super on Prismatic, the only real DPS super option you have is going to be Golden Gun, which really is kind of slow unless you're using it with Nighthawk, and obviously Nighthawk isn't here. So if you want to do fast DPS, probably Spirit of the Dragon and Coyote is your best bet, just to mag dump as quickly as possible. Next up, Spirit of Galanor. Hits and final blows with your super, return super energy. I actually have a roll with Galanor. It maxes out at about 50% super energy refund, which is pretty good. It's a lot less than Orpheus Rig, but with the benefit that you could use it on every single super. So if you want to use it on Silence and Squall, you want to use it on Golden Gun, you want to use it on Tether, it works for all of them. And 50% is a really good number, so you'll be able to get your super back pretty fast with this. I think I was seeing my super come back every 1 to 2 minutes, which was pretty good. And obviously, if we're doing something with our super, probably the best combination here is Star Eater Scales. Since you are getting all the energy back, you don't have to worry about the longer, what is it? The higher amount of orbs you need now for Star Eaters, since most of your energy is already returned. So it's going to be easy to get that overcharge. So Galanor and Star Eaters is really good, and definitely something to look out for. Moving down the list to the next one, Spirit of Foe Tracer. Again, this is kind of a DPS option. Damaging a powerful combatant or guardian with an ability grants you temporary surge for a weapon of that matching element. Again, this is going to be a DPS option. You could use it in standard content as well. But the benefit that the real Foe Tracer brings to standard content is the ability to create elemental pickups, which isn't here. So this is strictly for bonus damage, which again is great for boss DPS, especially when combined with Star Eaters. You pop your super, now you've damaged a powerful combatant, so you instantly get that surge for weapons. You don't need surge mods on your legs anymore if using this combination, so that's going to be really good for boss damage. Some other options that you could use with Foe Tracer is going to be Syntheseps and Liars. The major combo on Hunter right now is Combination Blow, so you're going to be probably taking out and punching really big targets pretty often. So if something in the left column isn't really interesting you that much, but you want to use Syntheseps or you want to use Liars, Foe Tracer will be good because you'll get that extra damage bonus for your weapons, and you won't have to rely solely on your melee, which is pretty good. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Foe Tracer, I think. Now for the big one that everyone is talking about, Caliban's power melee final blows trigger on ignition. This obviously synergizes perfectly with that punching hunter build. So you could either take it with Syntheseps or Liars. I actually have a roll with Caliban Syntheseps. It's pretty good. I want to see how it performs with the Liars instead. These are kind of interchangeable. It kind of just depends on what you'd prefer using. not too much to say there. They're essentially the same, a little bit different. But with Caliban, you're going to get huge explosions, and you're going to be able to room clear a lot more effectively than just by punching something. So if you want to take out more than just one big target, this is the way to go. And of course, you know, using combination blow, you're going to get a full refund on your melee every time you kill something. So you're just going to be popping off of these ignitions, and it's going to be really good. My AC just went on. Sorry if you could hear that. Last, but certainly not least, is Renewal Grasps. And renewals are pretty good. So this is how you're going to get really consistent frost armor. And not only can you have Renewal Grasps, but you could also have Sword Arachnes. And Sword Arachnes doesn't require Grapple Grenade anymore, at least on the class item. You gain Woven Mail whenever you use a grenade. So Duskfield is a grenade. So you throw your Duskfield grenade, you sit in it, now you have Woven Mail, and you have Frost Armor, which is like 75% DR just for free, which is insane. So if you're looking to play a more defensive build, maybe something for Grandmasters, or you're just having trouble staying alive, this is definitely the combination to go. I'm going to be farming for this one because I really want to try it out and see how well it performs. Some other notable things here. Wormhusk is going to be pretty good in PvP. I would say, you know, a PvP thing for Wormhusk might be Ophidians with it. Or, you know, it's just kind of a generally decent exotic. So if, you know, nothing else in the second column is really interesting you, Wormhusk is a pretty good option. Maybe not the best, but it synergizes nicely with the punch build, and it could work out. But I think that's all I have for hunters. And I'll kind of just maybe put on screen all the combinations like right underneath me, just to give you a quick overview of the ones for hunter that I talked about. And we're gonna move on to warlocks now. Warlocks, their class item name is still the same. It is still Solipsism. I think I'm saying that right. I have no idea. But here we go. Here's our 16 options for Warlock. And again, I have a number of them that I'm going to go through. You'll notice that 6 of the exotic perks are shared between all the classes. That's just how it is. And then the rest are specific to each particular class. Okay. First up, Spirit of the Assassin is probably not going to see too much use on Warlock. Warlocks aren't typically known for doing melees. Maybe you can make something happen with Assassin and Claw. But I probably would recommend using one of the other combinations instead, because the grenade abilities on Warlock are going to be crazy. Also, invisibility isn't as important here as the heal is on the original Assassin's Cowl. So, you know, unless you're having a lot of trouble staying alive, you probably don't need Spirit of the Assassin. But Inmost Light is probably the best thing Warlock's got. Using an ability empowers the other 2 abilities, granting them improved energy regeneration. So you gain bonus energy, or bonus regeneration every time you use an ability that is different. How am I supposed to say this? If you use a grenade, you get increased Rift and increased melee regen, and if you use a melee, it's the same for the other 2. So you're gonna be able to get your abilities up way faster with this. Some big notable combinations are Spirit of Verity, Weapon Final Blows, matching your grenade, grant a stacking grenade damage bonus. Death Throws has about a 10% or 10 second cooldown on it, or timer on it. So, you know, really, we didn't see Verity so much. It's always been a good exotic, but it's kind of been hampered by the fact that, you know, you're kind of reliant on your grenade cooldown. But when combined with Inmost Light, you're going to be able to throw out grenades a lot faster. So you'll be able to keep up Death Throws and keep up that improved grenade regeneration way faster. You're going to be able to just chuck grenades everywhere. It's going to be fantastic. There's 2 other options that you could use with Inmost Light that I think are going to be pretty good. One is going to be Spirit of Starfire. Grenades recharge from empowered weapon damage. and empowered weapon final blows grant more energy. So again, you'll be able to recharge your grenades a lot faster as long as you pop a melee. It using Inmost Light, it'll improve your grenade regen, and then you just kill stuff with your weapon and it'll also improve your regen. So again, you'll be able to throw out those grenades a lot faster. I think if you're looking for more grenades, Starfire is better than Verity, but if you're looking for higher damage grenades, Verity is going to be better than Starfire. The other two options you have here are going to be Spirit of Vesper and Spirit of the Claw, just because they synergize with your abilities. You know, and having 2 melee charges means that you're going to be able to activate Inmost Light a little bit faster, especially if you're looking for more grenades. Claw doesn't buff your damage or anything like that, so it's kind of like a okay choice. It could work. It's not the best, but it's not awful. Vesper, if you're looking for doing stuff with your Rift, maybe you want buddies or something. I don't know. It works with Inmost Light because it's an ability. So you'll get your rifts more quickly. You'll get your other abilities more quickly. Anyway, that's enough about Inmost Light. It's good. It's really good on Warlock. Spirit of the Ophidian. Just like Hunters, you're gonna want to pair this with Star Eaters if you want to do boss DPS. Very good for that. I actually left it out of my list. I'm surprised I did, probably because I already mentioned it for Hunters. But yeah, Ophidian, Star Eater, it's going to be good on all 3 classes. So I'll mention it again in the Titan section, but it's definitely one to keep your eyes out for. Spirit of the Stag is actually, I think, going to be pretty good with a couple options in column 2. One, of course, is Spirit of Vesper. Rifts release arc shockwaves. You know, if you're going for a Rift build, this is just the perfect combination. You get damage resist, and you also deal extra damage to enemies that are approaching you, so it's pretty good. The other option you could go with is going to be Starfire. If your Rift is actually an empowering Rift, then you're going to proc Starfire from it and gain increased grenade recharge. So you're going to have DR, and you're also going to have ability regen. So both of which are going to be really good, obviously. Next up, we have Spirit of Filaments. Casting an empowering rift grants you Devour. Again, you could use this with Vesper, but I think what's probably better is going to be Starfire. Again, because you're going to be dealing that empowered weapon damage, so you'll get the most out of your Devour, and you're also going to be throwing out more grenades, which again feeds into your Devour, and it's just good. Let's see, Necrotic Grips. So this has always been a pretty good Warlock exotic. I think what it's missing from the original is damage stacking and possibly the interaction with Weapons of Sorrow, but I don't know that for sure. Don't quote me on that. Basically, you poison stuff that you hit with your melee, and defeating that enemy spreads it to other enemies nearby. The 2 exotics here that I think are going to pair really well with that is going to be Synthoceps. If you want to go with a melee build, you can use Synthos. Warlock has a lot of ranged melees, so I don't know how well it will work, but you could try it out. I think it might be pretty good. Otherwise, you could use Spirit of the Claw and just have a second melee charge. So you could just poison things way more often. Spirit of Osmiomancy, just like with Inmost Light, it's going to work great with Verity and Starfire. Again, you're going to get that grenade regen a lot faster, and if you're using Cold Snaps, you get a little bit of a bonus benefit from it. I don't know if Cold Snaps are the best option, but just for the grenade recharge, it's pretty good. I'm not sure if this gives you more recharge based on the number of enemies you hit, or it's just you hit something, or you hit a lot of things and you get the same amount of regen. I haven't tested it, but you know, it'll be pretty good in a melee, or a melee build, a grenade build with Verity or Starfire. Finally, what I think is actually going to be really good is Apotheosis. After its buff last season, Apotheosis has been kind of a sleeper pick. It's really good, surprisingly. When you use it, you temporarily gain more melee and grenade regen once your super ends. Very good. If you pair this with something like Star Eaters, obviously you have that super synergy there. Or you could go with Spirit of Battle Harmony. So final blows with weapons that have a damage type matching your super's energy grant you super energy. So, you know, let's say you're using Nova Bomb, right? If you kill stuff with a void weapon, you're going to get your Nova Bomb back faster, which means you're going to activate Apotheosis faster as well. So that's just a really good combination if you want to get your supers up as fast as possible. And finally, you could use Spirit of Verity with Apotheosis. You grab Death Throws, and then you activate your super, and every single grenade that you get from Apotheosis, and you're going to get a lot of them, will have that bonus damage from Death Throws. It's going to be probably a nuke. It's going to be a nuke. So that's going to be a really good option if you're looking for a grenade build. It doesn't have any super regen built into it, so you're going to have to find other ways to get that regen. Maybe Orbs of Power generation with grenades or something like that. But once you do get that super, you're going to be nuking the entire screen. Probably more so than Sunbracers on Solar, which is pretty cool. Okay. That should be it for Warlock. I'll put all of the combinations that I think are notable right below me, just like before. And now it's time to finally look at our Titan friends. Titans, I believe your class item is also still Stoicism, which I don't know why Hunters got changed, but Hunters got changed. Whatever, doesn't matter. Again, the first 6 are exactly the same as the other classes, with the addition of the Titan specific ones underneath it. Titan has a lot of really good synergies and a lot of really good options. What I think is most interesting is Titan makes the most use out of Inmost Light out of all of the others, which is interesting. I would have expected, you know, the universal ones to get used more on classes that don't necessarily get access to it normally, but that's not the case. Titans have a lot of options with Inmost Light, which I'll get to in a second. But first up, let's talk about Spirit of the Assassin, because it's going to be very good on Titans. Titans obviously have a lot of melee builds that they can make use of, and if you look at the second column, you'll see there's a bunch here that could actually work with melees. First and foremost, obviously, you could use Syntheseps. Titans are no strangers to Synthos. It is your exotic after all. So you kill something with your melee, you go invisible. Easy synergy. If you're looking to not really change your playstyle too much, you just like punching stuff or whatever, just go with Assassin Synthos. It's easy. You could also go with Contact Brace. So again, synergizing with that powered melee. And this will do a little bit more AoE damage than Syntheseps, and you'll still get that invisibility from Assassin's Cowl. And I think that actually covers it for the melees. Both of these combinations are really good, and I highly recommend trying them if you get either role. I think personally, Contact might be more fun for ad clear, but they're going to be great, probably really good for solo play, at least Assassin Syntheseps. Invisibility has always been good in solo content, so that's definitely something to look out for. All right, let's talk about Inmost Light. I have 5 combinations written down for Inmost Light. Just like with Warlock, Spirit of Verity, I think is going to be pretty solid. Titan has some good grenades. Obviously, Inmost Light is going to give you more regen on those grenades, so you get to use them a lot faster. Also, again, Spirit of Contact, powered melees are going to trigger Inmost Light and improve your regen on your other 2 abilities. Easy. You could also use it with Spirit of the Horn if you want to focus on your Barricade. Again, Barricade is an ability, so it procs Inmost Light. Alpha Loopy is, again, another option. Pretty much anything that synergizes with your abilities is just going to work within Most Light. So, of course, Armamentarium is another great option. 2 grenade charges. And the regen from Hoyle is going to be pretty good. But you probably didn't need me to tell you that. So if you're on Titan and you get in Most Light with pretty much any option in column 2, you can make a pretty good build with it. So if you're not sure what else to use, in Most Light and anything will make you happy. Just like the other 2 classes, oh my gosh, I'm dropping stuff. Ophidian, Star Eaters, great for DPS. Probably the best option here for your super is going to be Twilight Arsenal. But you could probably also use Thunder Crash if you'd prefer. But again, really good for boss DPS. Severance and Closure. Melee builds are going to love this one. The 2 biggest options that you could use with Severance is going to be Syntheseps and Contact. I think Contact is going to be really cool. I don't know if it's going to proc on the initial kill only, or if it also procs on the Lightning Strike kills. If it procs on every Lightning Strike, and you get an explosion for every Lightning Strike kill, that's going to be crazy. You're just going to be blowing everything up. I'm going to be honest, I haven't gotten Prismatic on my Titan yet, but as soon as I do, this is what I'm going to try and farm for in the class items, is Severance and Contact Brace. I think that's going to be so fun. Even if it's maybe not the best, I think it's going to be so fun to just nuke the entire screen. And then Syntheseps is obviously going to work with melees because it's Syntheseps. Not too much to say there. Hoarfrost has a couple good options. And by a couple, I mean literally 2. You have Spirit of the Horn and Spirit of Alpha Loopy. I just had a, my brain just melted. It actually just melted. Hoarfrost changes your barricade into stasis crystals, which, even though it's technically a barricade, the stasis crystals give you a lot more offensive power. So where barricade normally is this defensive tool, Hoarfrost allows you to make it more offensive. So if you pair that with something like Alpha Loopy, you're still going to retain that defensive capability because you're going to create that healing pulse. But also you'll be able to kill things a lot easier because everything is a stasis crystal. But if you want to go all in on the offense, Spirit of the Horn is great because you're going to send out that solar blast, and you're also going to be able to destroy your stasis crystals and just create a big explosion in front of you and pretty much kill everything. So it's going to be really good. And then if you pair that with something like Dranger's Lash, you get the suspend, you get the the solar energy blast, and you get the stasis shatter. You're just going to nuke everything, and they won't have any way to stop you. So I definitely recommend Hoarfrost and Horn if you want to have like a pretty unique type of build centered around your barricade. What I think is really cool is Spirit of the Eternal Warrior. Eternal Warrior kind of is this forgotten exotic that got a rework, and then still people never used it because it wasn't very good. So what's different here is it's actually good on the class item. Gain a damage bonus for weapons matching your super's element when your super ends. If you're using something like Twilight Arsenal, your super's done in like 2 seconds, right? You throw your super out, and you instantly get this surge bonus. So again, you don't have to run surges on your legs for boss DPS, which is super great. If you pair this with something like Star Eaters, you just get a ton of damage for free on your super. Plus you get the ×4 surge. It's probably a ×4 surge right afterwards. So it's just really good for DPS. I don't think it's going to be super great for general gameplay unless you're running like an ad clear super for some reason. But for burst DPS, this is going to be really good. Bosses beware. Witness beware. It's going to be pretty good. Let's see. Next up we have Abeyant, which pretty much does the same thing that its original exotic does. It improves Dranger's Lash. So just like with Hoarfrost, you could combine it with Horn and Loopy for barricade builds. I don't think there's much else here that helps it out, but Abeyant is always good. So if you're looking for suspend, you're looking for some more barricade play, this is a good one to pick. If you want to go full defensive on your barricade, Abeyant and Alpha Loopy is going to be pretty good. Speaking of defensive, last up we have Spirit of the Bear. Damage blocked with Unbreakable is converted to super energy. So you could use this with something like Star Eaters. If you want to get your super back faster and also have that bonus damage from your super, Bear is going to give you faster regen on your super, and then obviously Star Eaters is going to make your super a lot stronger. There's some other options that you could do here. I didn't really mention Spirit of Scars. It's great. Precious Scars is a really good exotic. If you're looking for doing healing, take Scars, maybe take something like Severance Enclosure, and just do a lot of damage, I guess. I don't know. Ophidian Scars might be pretty good. Scars you could probably fit onto anything in the first column and it'll be fine. It kind of stands alone, which is why I didn't mention it in any specific combinations. It's just generally a good pick, but doesn't have any like super crazy synergies to look out for here. But I think that covers it for Titans. So I'll put a little blurb down below me, just like before, with those combinations that I mentioned. But yeah, I think that covers it for every single class item and combination I think you should look out for. I'm going to be testing out a lot of these on my own once I get my hands on more roles, especially Hunter. I'm going to focus on Hunters first. And then once I find some interesting combinations, maybe some cool builds that work with them, I'll go ahead and let you guys know about those as well. I wanted to wait a little bit before putting out any build guides, just to kind of give myself time to find really cool options and synergies that I think you guys might find really cool and aren't necessarily what everyone else is talking about. Like, you guys probably don't want to hear about Spirit of Caliban and Spirit of Beliar for like the 100th time this week. So anyway, that's it for the class items. If you do have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below or over in my Discord server. I have the link to that in the video description. And I'll try and answer any questions, or if you have any combinations that you've been using for yourself or you think might be interesting, also let me know. I'd love to hear from you. But I think with all that said, that's all I've got for now. We'll get some more videos about the final shape out in the next couple weeks. I know I have the raid videos to finish up. I've been busy, so I haven't been able to write and record a bunch of stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna stop blabbing. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like the video, hit the like button below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I think that's all. So anyway, as always, I've been Rizeki. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.